Welcome to the How Good It Can Get podcast, where we dive deep into the transformative journey from surviving to thriving. Join me, your host, Andrea Rice, on this empowering exploration of mindfulness, spirituality, and unlocking your full potential. Let me show you just how good it can get. Hello and welcome back to How Good It Can Get. I am your host, Andrea Rice. I am excited to be here and do this episode today. Before I get started, I do want to say hello to all of the listeners around the world. And to me, that's kind of an exciting thing to say, around the world. How Good It Can Get has been downloaded in 10 countries. Super excited about that. Whoever is listening, thank you. I appreciate every single one of you. And tell your friends about How Good It Can Get, because the whole reason for this podcast, for my brand, is to really show people how good life can get. So thank you for tuning in. And today's episode, I am going to be talking about when spirit speaks to us. And this actually is not the episode I thought I would be recording today, because I had been working on formulating an episode about spontaneous recovery and healing in a matter of minutes or days instead of years. And I'm still going to do that episode, and it'll probably be my next one. But I was kind of stopped in my tracks earlier today and was told by Spirit, no, do this episode. It's going to help someone. And that's the reason I'm doing it. I feel like it's meant to reach someone. And when I say spirit, I mean that can be source, that can be God, that can be your higher self. Whatever it is, it's that intuition, that little voice that speaks to us. And I wanted to just say how important it is to stop and listen when you hear that voice, because there have been times in my life that I did not heed what was being said to me. I passed it off as if like, oh, that, whatever, I don't know why I even thought of that. And I just went on with my day. And the times that I have not listened to my intuition, I have not listened to that voice that was trying to tell me, it has been detrimental. And let me tell you a little story about the first time that I did not listen to what Spirit was trying to say to me. So I was 23 years old. I was just getting done with a 5-year tour in the Navy. And if you know me, like, the Navy is probably not a good fit for me. I really did not enjoy a lot of my time in the Navy. So when my time was up, I was ready to go. Now, let me just say, I love the Navy. I am super proud for having served. It is one of my greatest sources of pride, and I met the most wonderful, amazing people in the Navy that 20 some years later, I still think of them. I still talk to some of them. I still see some of them. So I have so much gratitude for the Navy, but it was not a good fit for me as far as work. So when it was time for me to leave that ship for the last time, I was ready to go. I was like, I am out of here. My time is up. Woo! I am done. And I remember walking across the hangar bay, and I literally stopped in my tracks, and I said, oh, I need to say goodbye to my friend Holiday. And a little background, I would not have made it through the last 2.5 years of the Navy without my friend Holiday. And his first name was not Holiday, but in the Navy, we call each other by our last names. So the first time I saw Holiday, I saw him from a distance, and I saw his name tag on the back of his dungarees, and it said Holiday. And I said, that is my friend. I hadn't even seen his face yet. I've not spoken to this person. I just knew instantly that was my friend. My soul recognized his soul, and we were instant friends. We had such a strong connection and bond. He was my best friend. He looked out for me. He supported me in a way that I've never had anyone do that for me since. I probably never will, because that is a once-in-a-lifetime bond and friendship. So I'm walking across the hangar bay. My I'm leaving the ship for the last time. I am done. And I stopped in my tracks and I said, oh, I need to say goodbye to Holiday. And then I was like, no, I just want to get off this ship. I just want to be done. I'll catch him later. I'll see him later. And fast forward a couple of weeks. And Holiday was in an accident and passed away. And I never got the chance to say goodbye to him. And I think about him every single day, and I think, why didn't I just turn around? Why didn't I turn around and say goodbye? But I didn't. I kept walking, and I never got the chance. And that was the first time I didn't listen to my intuition, or the first time I can remember not. And it's literally haunted me every day for the rest of my life. And recently, I had a friend on my mind, and I wanted to text this friend, I love you. Something kept saying, text this person, I love you. Text them, I love you. And I didn't. I didn't because, sometimes those words, I want to tell people I love them all the time. I do. Because, I think that's our natural state, is to love. And it doesn't have to mean that it's romantic. It doesn't have to mean that, there's something more than just, I see you, I love you. And I so desperately wanted to text this person, I love you. And I didn't. Because I was afraid of what they would think I meant by those words. And so I didn't text. And about an hour later, I got a text message from that friend who said that they were really struggling, and that they had people who, just showed up out of nowhere when they were in this dark, dark place. And I have such regret for not being one of those people that showed up in that moment. But I was being called to. I sure was. Because that is all I could think about that morning, was to text this person, I love you. And I ignored it. And luckily, I was able to share that, since then. That's an opportunity I didn't get with Holiday, but I did get with this person. And I'll share with you one more example. So yesterday, I was at a memorial service for a young man who passed away. And I didn't know him very well. I'd only met him a few times. I was there primarily to support his mother and father and my friend who knew him well. And during this memorial service, they asked for people to just stand up and share a story or an experience with the young man that passed, if they were called to do so. And in my heart, I wanted to stand up. I wanted to stand up and share the story about the first time I met this person and how he really made an impact on me. But I didn't share because I was like, I didn't know him that well. I only met him a few times. Maybe it's not appropriate for me to share. And after it was said and done, I regretted not sharing. And I regretted it because I know that if it had been a loved one of mine that had passed, and I wouldn't care if it was like, hey, I just met this person one time at the 7-Eleven and they bought me coffee and it changed my perspective on everything that day, right? It could have been a one-time, 1-minute encounter, and I would want to hear it. So I guess what I'm saying is, I share these stories with you because so many times we don't say what we're being called to say. Spirit is speaking to us. Spirit is guiding us, our higher self, source, God, the universe. And part of why we are here is to connect with people And when you're called to share a kind word, when you're called to be a support, do it. Listen to that voice, because you don't know if you'll get the chance again. And I don't know, maybe this isn't so much of an educational or a profound episode, but it's just something that I wanted to share with you, is just the reminder to always listen to that voice and act on it, because you don't know how a text, some kind words, sharing a story, you don't know how that can impact people, and it could just really elevate their life, even for a moment. Then it's worth it. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning into this episode, but also thank you for tuning into your intuition. Listen to it, act on it, go out there, raise the world's vibration. Thank you.
You've been listening to the How Good It Can Get podcast. Remember, the power to transform your life is within you. So stay mindful, stay empowered, and keep embracing how good it can get.